Hey, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to do one of my favorite tags that I do every year on my channel. It is the mid-year book freakout tag. I've been doing this tag for quite a few years, and I really like this one because it kind of gives me a chance to reflect on the first half of the year, which, side note, it is absolutely insane that the year is halfway over already. But yeah, this tag is just a good way to look at the books I've read, and as you guys probably have noticed, this year reading has not been a huge thing on this channel. I have not read nearly as many books as I normally do, but that was expected. I knew that was going to happen. Going back to school and stuff, it was a given. So I'm giving myself some grace, and we're going to talk about the books that I did read and answer these lovely 13 questions. So let's dive in. So the first question is like the big question of the day. What's the best book I have read so far this year? And this one was pretty easy to answer, because I've only had 3 5-star books in the first part of the year. At the time of filming, I've only had 3, but this one just was the one immediately, and that is The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois by Honorée Fannin Jeffers. This one I read in, I want to say February. I listened to it on audio and I absolutely loved it. It's a great coming of age book that has so many interesting, not only an interesting main character, but so many of the supporting characters are also very interesting. It has just a great, just sort of rich family history, if that's like your sort of thing. It goes back in time. It's fabulous. It's such a good book. I can't wait to see what else this author puts out, because I will definitely be picking it up. And the next question, I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to answer it because it is the best sequel that I have read this year, and I've only read one. So kind of by default, my answer to this question is Heartstopper Volume 5, which though I think I would have picked anyway, because this is a series that I absolutely love, and I'm sad that the next volume is slated to be the last. But this one was just as great as the others. Emotional, funny, loving. It handled some really great topics, I think, for teens, and all in all, yeah, it was great. I loved it. Question 3 is a new release that I haven't read yet, but I want to. And for that, I'm gonna go with one of my most recent purchases, which is Stephen King's new book, You Like It Darker. This is a short story collection. I think it has 12 stories in it. 12 short stories. And so far the feedback I've heard on this has been pretty good, and so I'm feeling a little hyped. Mainly Carol over at Carol Marie Reads loved this. She's kind of got me excited about this. And I'm actually saving this for, I think it's August, because the Buzzword Reading Challenge prompt is like, so I'm like, oh, you like it darker. So I will be reading this in August, but I can't wait to read it. Question 4 is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And for that, I'm gonna go with the 4th book in the Morgan Crow series. It's called Silverborn. The subtitle, I believe, is The Mystery of Morgan Crow. And this is just a really cool fantasy series that I have enjoyed, and so I'm interested to see what the next book is going to bring. I believe this whole series is supposed to be 7 books, so but you know, the way that things have sort of been amping up in the series, I feel like the 4th one's going to be really good. If you are into magical schools, then I think you would like this series and you should check it out. My biggest disappointment so far this year, I still own the book, but it's in my like Pango pile. I'm trying to sell it on Pango because I don't want it anymore because it was such a disappointment. And that is Murder Road by Simone St. James. I read this one, was it in March? April? Somewhere. And it was disappointing to me. I think for me, the reason it was disappointing was because the ending was just kind of whack, and there were things that didn't make sense to me. The whole, like, the couple playing detective in that book was kind of annoying to me. I don't know why. There were just things about it I just didn't like. So yeah, I was really hyped up about this book because it was supposed to be like about a haunted road and like, you know, a ghost and obviously a mystery behind that, but it overall just didn't really deliver. My biggest surprise for so far this year has been a classic. I read Emma by Jane Austen in March, and it was for my 100 Epic Reads project, and I was very hesitant because in the past I had read Jane Austen, I had read Pride and Prejudice, and I didn't really like it that much. I know. And so I was not super thrilled about having to read another Jane Austen, but I wanted to give her another shot, and luckily I did enjoy Emma. I thought it was pretty good. I gave it 3 stars, so I mean, it's not like it was like amazing, but I liked it better than Pride and Prejudice. I thought it was kind of fun. It was interesting. It was shockingly good. Favorite new author for so far this year for me is Claire Oshetsky, I would say. She wrote the book Poor Dear, and I can't remember if Poor Dear was a debut or not, but I read this one. I got it from the library, and it's actually one that I want to get a physical copy of because I enjoyed it so much. It was a 4.75, like it was almost 5 stars. I just thought it was a great book about grief, specifically with children, and being in situations where they have grief and guilt and them trying to process it. It was very emotional and well written, and the vibe of it all was very good. So yeah, I would definitely say I would want to pick up more Claire Oshetsky in the future. And then the next question is favorite fictional crush, and this is one of those questions that I never answer because I don't really get crushes on fictional characters in books. I don't know why. I just don't read the type of books, I think, for the most part, that have characters that you would get a crush on. So I never really answered this question. The next question is a book that made me cry, and for that I'm going to go back to Poor Dear by Claire Oshetsky. It didn't make me cry, but I came close. It was very, like I said, emotionally charged. You just feel a lot of heavy feelings when you read that book because of the subject matter and the characters and what they're dealing with. It's very sad and makes you want to cry. Now to talk about a book that made me happy, and for this one I'm going with Smile by Raina Telgemeier. This is one that her books always, though sometimes they'll kind of dive into more heavy topics, I feel like they always end up being feel-good stories. And this one was about it was a graphic memoir about when Raina had to get braces as a kid. And I think that overall it was just, though sometimes it got a little down, got a little emotional, it was also very uplifting. And I think a lot of kids, and myself included when I read it, you kind of walk away just feeling good about it. Because it's such a universal topic that so many kids deal with, so many people deal with. I'm actually dealing with it right now, except I don't have braces, I have Invisalign, but that it's life-changing. It's life-altering. It's a big deal. And so, yeah, this book made me smile, and I thought it was good. The next question is newest favorite character. For that, I'm going with Ailey, the main character from the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. I just loved her journey and seeing her, because when you meet her in the beginning of the book, she's like preschool aged, and it takes you all the way through her college years, so you're with her for a long time. And I just loved seeing her growth, her evolution, becoming a woman, all of that. It was just so good. She was a great character. I really enjoyed. Next is the most beautiful book that I have bought so far this year, and this is one that it's a 2024 release, but I haven't read it yet, but I purchased it because I really love the cover. And I just love the cover. So it's 50 Beasts to Break Your Heart by, who's it by? Jenna Rose Nethercott. And I think for me, I just love the tree here. And then you have like the flower with the skull in the middle. I love the green of the font. Like the whole thing just looks very like fairy tale-esque, very like whimsical, but also dark, because you've got, these two looking like they're about to battle. yeah, I think this cover's great. The last question is books I want to read by the end of the year. So I picked 3 that are on my 24 and 24 list. Some of them I've talked about because they are having to do with some of the goals I made for the year, but some of them aren't. But anyway, the first one is American Psycho by Bret Easton Ellis. This is one of my book haul revisits, so one of my revisit remix, I should say, books. So this is like one I have to read by the end of the year, or I have to unhaul it. And it's one that, yeah, I just need to read it. I don't know. I'm like waiting for the right time, but I don't know if that time's ever gonna come. Because I've heard that this book is challenging. So I'm a little intimidated by it, but I also have seen the movie a few times, so I understand the premise, and hopefully that will help me. I don't know. But yeah, this one I have to get read by the end of the year. Another one is Greater Nothing by, there's 4 authors, Joy McCullough, Caroline Tung Richmond, Tess Sharp, and Jessica Sportswood. And this is a Little Women retelling, except the setting, instead of being the Civil War in America, it is during World War II. So, you know, I love Little Women, and so I'm very intrigued by a retelling that takes place in World War II. So I want to get this one read. And then the last one is a thriller that I've had for a minute. I actually think this one was just in a book haul revisit like this year, if I remember. But it's A Nearly Normal Family by M.T. Edwardson. And if I remember right, this one has to do with a family where their daughter is being charged, I want to say with murder or something. And I don't know if like somebody in her family, yes, her dad is a pastor and her mom is a criminal defense attorney. So I don't know if mom is going to defend her. That would be kind of weird. But yeah, I feel like this book had some hype back when it came out. It was a book of the month pick. That's what this edition I have is, a book of the month edition. And I feel like it had a little bit of traction when it first came out, but I don't know. So I need to finish it. I just need to read it. Get it off my shelves. All right, guys, so that is it. Those are my answers to the mid-year book freakout tag for 2024. Let me know down below how you would answer some of these questions, because I would love to know. I'm actually going to link the questions or list the questions in the description, so that you can go through them if you would like. And yeah, let me know what you thought of that. If you have done your own version, for those of you out there that are in any way bookish on the internet and you've done this tag, I would love for you to let me know so I can go and watch your video or see your post or whatever it is. And yeah, I guess that's it. So I hope you guys are having a great week, and I will talk with you soon. Thank you so much for watching.